You also do coaching for the students, and since you also applied for different universities, what do you think that after spending many years here in different universities, what universities actually look into the applicant's CV, for example, in their motivation letter?
Yes. Thank you for this question. Well, job and admission, it's like a marriage. Yeah. It's like a marriage, like a proposal. There should be a good match. So when I talk to a lot of students who are applying for masters abroad, a lot of students, they have, let's say, lower scores in their bachelors. Yeah. And then they are very demotivated. They think that it's not possible to apply for masters in Germany because I have, let's say, low scores, low grades. Well, it's not the case. I've seen students who have low grades, but they were successful in getting admission. And I will tell you why. When you look into the admission criteria of any university in Germany, there are, let's say, 5 main criteria. Yeah. Let's say your grade in your bachelor is one criteria. Second criteria is the IELTS, or let's say TOEFL, or any English competency exam that you do. The third is your motivation letter. The fourth is any experience that you had, any professional experience that you had. And the fifth is your extracurriculum activities. This, I talked to different student coordinators. They told me that these are the main points that they are looking into. First of all, we will go one point, let's say point one by one. First of all, let's say score. Most of the people, they say that who are applying, they are demotivated if they have lower score. That's okay. That's not a problem that if you have a low score. The thing is, in Germany, and this I always tell students, in Germany, there are more than 100 universities, which means there are more than 1,000 programs. If you go to this dart.de website, there are so many universities. I live in the Netherlands right now. In Netherlands, they are not, you can count, let's say 10, 15 universities you can count in the Netherlands. But in Germany, every state has, let's say, multiple universities. So which means your chances of getting admission is higher. First of all, the amount of university is too much. Second, the programs are too much. Now, the thing is, when you have low grades, it means that you cannot apply to a program which you desire. Yeah. For example, I want to get admission into electrical engineering for masters, but I have low grades. It means the competition is high, so I cannot apply in that program. But this is always important, persistence. Always, when you're applying for master course, don't look into, I would say, program itself. Just look into where you are eligible. If you are eligible into 50 universities, apply to 50 universities. Send the application, give it a try. Also, good universities, low ranking universities, give it a chance. And then once you get admission, then make a decision you want to go or not. Because all the admission process is online. Yeah, you don't have to pay for any fees. Thank God to the internet, that all the process is online process. So the only thing you have to do is just spend some time. So I always advise people ask me which program should I apply. I say all the programs that you are eligible to, because you never know which program. Because, for example, I studied electrical engineering and later I studied psychology, and maybe I had a better future in psychology. I have example of people who did electrical engineering from GIK in Pakistan. They didn't have good grades, really poor grades. Now they are psychologists, educational psychologists, and they are the only one in their field. They are in very high demand. So don't be afraid of changing your field. This is one thing. So first lesson about score. Don't worry about the score. Apply in as much universities as you can. That's one thing. Second thing is, if you have low score, then you should put focus on your IELTS score. IELTS or TOEFL, let's say. English proficiency, yeah. Because when someone is looking in your application and they think, okay, you have a low academic score, but you have a good IELTS score, it means that you can do it. It's not about what you have done. It's about your ability, what you can do later. So when you show in your IELTS course exam that you can score good grades, it gives a positive impact to a person who are evaluating your application. Because when application comes, there are so many people around the world which have the similar kind of grades. So now it's again marriage. You have so many proposals. So now you have to find a balance. Who is suited for this course? Who is the best suit for this course? So I would say for people who have low score in their academic, let's say bachelor's or master's, put your all focus on IELTS, get a good grades in IELTS. So that's the second thing. And then third thing is the motivation letter. Very important, the motivation letter. Because if you have 3 applications with the similar grades in front of you and you have to choose one, the thing is you are sending only your records. You're not talking to a person who is evaluating you. So motivation letter is a mean of, it's kind of a letter that you write to someone who is reading your work. So for example, you have a low score, but you show in your motivation letter that why you had a low score and how you can improve later. So you show a positive impact in your motivation letter. So to distinguish among many applicants, the only way is writing a good motivation letter. And I will come to this point later, how to write a good motivation letter, because this is another question I ask a lot of people. What is the best way to write a motivation letter? So we will come to this point later. And then the fourth point is experience. So if some people, they don't have experience, that's also fine. That's not a problem. But if you have an experience, try to get, let's say, all kind of certificates that you can collect. So that's one thing, experience. And then the next thing is the extra curriculum activities. Mostly in Pakistan, we neglect this aspect of our life. It's extracurriculum activities. In the Western countries, Europe, people really appreciate if you are a dynamic person. If you other than studies, academics, you also invest time into activities like sport, volunteer work, music, anything that you can do. For example, or book reading. If you are good in debate, for example, or a social activist. So that's also a very important thing which people neglect. So these are all the points. If you focus on, if you have anything less, you can focus on other thing. What is done is done. Your grades, they are done. You cannot change anything about it. You can always, only way is moving forward. So look into other points and try to score higher on that points. So this is, let's say, in a nutshell, 5 points which are really important. And don't be afraid. It's okay to apply. Applying is never a problem. Just apply as much as you can. Don't underestimate yourself that you have a bad score, you have a bad background, whatever, that you cannot get admission. You never know.